Well, Brody, it is, my friends. So we have to actually capture the city of Brody. Destroying the enemy convoy would be a great secondary objective to accomplish, and we're going to utilize the ambush ability. I've seen that ability. I've wanted to try it out, and I can't wait. So this is going to be the first German Panzer group moving forward, and we need to try and destroy the mechanized response team, essentially, of the Soviets, a mechanized army, essentially. We're going to get the Jagdpanzer 1 if we can win this fight, so I think it's going to be very, very important to try and eke out a win here. But look at that Soviet armored response. They are not kidding around. I think right away this calls for some anti-tank guns. They did so well in the last battle. Do we have them in this battle? We don't. We do have the Panzerjäger, though, and we also have the Stug, which also functions as a pretty good anti-tank gun, or an actual assault gun. So let's push forward here and immediately start taking out the tanks. I don't care how small they are. Even if it's just a T-70, it's still a threat. We'll also push forward with this Stug 3. We're not going to do much against the BT-5, but it's better than nothing. And let's do the same with the Panzerjäger. Now, this is where we could potentially use the ambush ability. I'm going to test it out. I also wanted to use it with these guys up in the front, but we're going to have to wait a bit. In the meantime, let's push forward with the infantry as well, although I'm going to push the infantry up here. I don't necessarily want to push over here, although it is an anti-tank squad. Same with our Wehrmacht units, and the reason being I want to make sure that we wipe out the concentration of Soviet units over here in Lutsk, this city to the north. So let's start the attack. First things first, let me get a shot with the AT gun. Or, you know what, I'm actually going to set him up in an ambush ability. Since enemies are nearby, we can't camouflage. That's going to be the one frustrating aspect of this actual ability. You know what, we could also move over here with the assault troops. Let's not push our luck. Let's just go ahead, snipe the enemy from afar, first of all. Really lower the regulars, because the regulars are going to be difficult to deal with. I'm going to go for a charge ability against the regulars. We'll lose a lot of Wehrmacht soldiers in the charge, but it's going to kill quite a lot of them. In fact, it might wipe that unit out. Beautiful. And actually, we didn't lose any men since the charge was successful there. We just killed them before they could do any damage to us. Now let's take the Flammenwerfer and burn away the regulars over here. He's not going to be able to do much this turn, although we should consider bringing even more units to the battlefield. I think you can never have too many Stug 3s on a battle like this with so many enemy tanks, so I'm going to get another Stug 3. Now again, it's very expensive. Let's also get an anti-tank squad, and we'll try to use both over here to stem the Soviet advance. Alright, let's end the turn. I really want to use my my Fallschirmjäger. You guys know how much I love these guys. They're really useful. But I think we'll wait. Although if we could drop the Fallschirmjäger here, you know what? I might try to be a little sneaky here, guys. Huh, maybe he can't drop right now. Alright, fair enough. We definitely have enough points, but it's not letting us drop him, so maybe we just can't use him for this mission, or perhaps we have too many units on the field. Let's see how Ivan responds here. I think they're going to do a major counterattack, and I'm not going to be mistaken. For the fatherland men, hold out. All right, back to us. All right, they didn't go too crazy. Again, let's see if we can get into ambush position. So we can't camouflage since enemies are since enemies are going to be nearby. What about over here? Let's find out a little later. First, I'm going to soften him up. And we'll actually just get the AT gun to destroy him. And then let me see if I can maybe camouflage over here. Although I don't think so. What we will do, though, is we'll entrench the tank. And let's snipe the infantry up here. Just get rid of those regulars. The conscripts holding the city, they're not going to be much of a challenge for us at all. Alright, we could keep attacking, or we could try to bring some supply to these guys. And you know what? I think they could use the supply. They fought bravely. We don't want to neglect our men. So let's make sure that happens. Now, once again, can we get camouflage? No, we can't. Let's keep fighting. We're just going to go ahead and attack head on. And we got a penetrating hit there, so occasionally you essentially get a chance at a critical hit, which is what just happened there, which gave us quite an advantage. I wonder if we can make that happen again. It would really, really help us out, as you can imagine. Can we get any more anti-tank on the battlefield? The more the merrier. It looks like all we can get is a Panzer 3 and a Stug 3. The Stug 3, of course, is an awesome anti-tank weapon. So let's move him forward, and we'll entrench him. In fact, we should probably entrench most of these units, just to make sure we get that defensive bonus. Alright, folks. The turn ends, and you can see that our actual target is quite a ways away. This is not close. The enemy has additional armored forces coming down to attack us. So we've got to do something here, and I'm thinking that that paradrop is going to be very, very important as well. I get the feeling that's going to give us some points, or at least give us some sort of unit to unlock. Alright, they're trying to attack our assault infantry. Can't say I blame them. Can we finally get an ambush attack? He's got to be within 3 tiles of us for us to get that ambush bonus. It's the only unfortunate aspect here. But at this time, what we're going to try to do is destroy the BT-5 either way. And I wonder, I don't think I can set up an ambush because we can see him. But if we can destroy him, maybe then we could actually set up an ambush. Let's try it out. So I'm just going to put all of my attacks on him to try and get him off the field and to try and camouflage this unit. No, once again, enemies are nearby. We're not able to use that ambush ability, but we shouldn't let this Panzerjäger go to waste. I am going to open fire right there on the T-70. I think it's going to be an instant kill. The problem is, without some infantry units in front of our armor here, it's going to be really easy for these AT units to exploit that and destroy our poor armored units. So I'm going to start moving some Wehrmacht forward if I can. In fact, I'll even get these guys out of that defensive formation. It's just a start. But I'm even going to cross the river just to destroy that Gas 40 truck. I saw that option and I was like, I've got to take it. If we could have destroyed the ZIS 150, we could have destroyed the infantry units inside these vehicles without even having to really fight them or receive any fire from them anyway. But that's not going to be an option now. Nonetheless, we continue forward here. And I think we can use that snipe ability again. No, we're going to have to move forward 1 tile. And the assault team is going to have to go in once again. I think, honestly, the enemy will probably just resupply that unit. And we'll be out of luck and back to square one. But let's worry about it when it happens. Yeah, right now our armored push could be faster. We're going a little slower than we like. But look, I mean, if slow and steady wins the race, then we're going to be just fine. And we could grab some Panzer Grenadiers. I think it's definitely time for a few of these guys, especially since we're going to be facing some infantry over here. And the Panzer Grenadiers do well against tanks, but they also don't do too badly against enemy infantry units there, as you can see. They're an all-around really, really great unit. Against armor, though, of course, 3 out of 4 bars. Against infantry, 2 out of 4. Still not too bad, so we'll hopefully get them in the fight next turn. And let's end it. Alright, so that's what I was talking about, the anti-tank units. They absolutely worried me. And even these conscripts are doing a pretty good job against us. We're going to have to come up with a better idea than this. I think those T-34s are going to break right through if we don't start destroying them immediately. But we have to use these AT squads to really deal with the tanks. Let's see. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move the Wehrmacht over here. And I could attack that ZIS 150, but I'm actually going to attack the enemy AT infantry. Then, let's try to hit it with some extremely strong artillery here. And we'll finish him off with a stun. At this point, we need to try to get out of this area and face the enemy head-on, or we could try to set up an ambush. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do. So let's try to draw the enemies into an ambush. I'm not even going to move out with any of these units, unless I could just get a quick shot at the infantry. I might do that. There we go. But again, I really do want to get that ambush bonus. It doesn't mean we lose the fight if we don't get it, but we want to get as many prestige points as we can. Let's see if we can supply him. We cannot. So let's do the next best thing and try to get this guy out of here. At the same time, I don't really want him in front of any of our ambushing units. And let's see if our snipers can wipe these guys out. They might just need to move up, but I think... Ooh, not quite. We're going to have to wait another turn to take these guys out. We might have to wait a few more turns, because if they reinforce here, we still have quite a problem. I like the way the battle is going, though. I just wish we had a couple more reinforcement points. Alright, the T-34s are right there. This is our opportunity. In the meantime, we also have an armor-piercing round. But what I really wanted to do was get some supply for this unit, and that's just not going to happen. And we need to try to kill the T-34s as quickly as possible. So I'm going to spare absolutely nothing to destroy these units. And there we go, guys. One of the T-34s down, and we've got plenty of Stugs to keep on pushing the T-34s back or damaging them, but that was not the right move. I'm just going to entrench that Stug. Didn't think that one through at all. What we will do, though, is also move our Fallschirmjäger unit over here. Now, he does have the Incendiary ability, and we can actually do quite a lot of damage to the enemy. We will take some damage ourselves, but I think it's worth it, using that wonderful Molotov against Ivan, the same way the Finnish did in the Winter War. So we've learned from our Finnish allies here, and the Wehrmacht are going to be able to actually walk in here, hopefully, and mop up a tank. In fact, just to make sure, this is actually only going to increase damage versus infantry, so I won't even bother. I was going to do a charge. We'll just do a standard attack and hopefully wipe out this T-34. Deflected. Now, that's what I was worried about. Thankfully, the T-34 has combat fatigue. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything next turn. We're also about to take Lubetsk over here. I wonder if that gives us any sort of prestige bonus. I'd also like to get behind these conscripts and specifically move forward with our grenadiers here. So what I'm going to do is move this unit here. We're going to open fire on the ZIS truck, or this is actually an AA truck. You know what? Let's actually just go ahead and attack the conscripts. Make it a little easier for our grenadiers. So we'll move the AT squad over here. I'm going to move the Panzer grenadiers forward. And we'll make short work of those conscript units. I'll also push forward with the Stug guys and try to cut off as many enemies as possible. I think we're off to a pretty decent start. Let's just grab the armor and move forward. If we don't manage to get that ambush bonus, it's not the end of the world. And right now, we have just a great opportunity to destroy this truck. It's carrying infantry, so I think this is just a great chance. There we go. No initiative boost. And let's end the turn right there. Feeling pretty good about my odds, but those clouds are covering what could be a tremendous amount of enemy tanks, enemy armored units, you know, infantry, who knows. Or maybe there's nothing there at all and I'm overreacting. For Wehrmacht, this time the enemy did not stop our attack, and I'm going to see once again, we got a bonus there for taking the city. We absolutely want to resupply these frontline units. Anybody who's been through any heavy combat, we want to bring them back to their full strength. So there we go. I think our men are going to be very happy with that. Not to mention, guys, that we can bring in additional units. And one of those is going to have to be a Sturm Panzer. We just don't have enough artillery on this map, and I want to bring some more in. Let's take a look here. These guys aren't going to be able to attack this turn because, of course, they just resupplied. And you know what? If we do it with one, we should do it with all. Might as well just go ahead and get those guys the equipment they need. Alright, we destroyed the enemy convoy, which was one of the secondary objectives. So that will allow our officer to pin another Knight's Cross on my chest. That's what I'm looking for, and another Iron Cross. Now let's go ahead, push forward, and take the offensive to the enemy. Would have actually gotten an amazing hit against that scout car, but kind of decided against it. Let's see if we can do that now. Now, I wonder why... Oh, it's because it was a different vehicle. I was wondering why the angle would matter here. We've moved everybody forward. We could certainly purchase some more units, but I'm not sure we want to. Major mistake there. I'm going to have to move back to take this. We could also just move there with the AT squad, but something tells me leaving the enemy Bofors over here just hanging out is not a good idea. Let's get another Stug, or you know what? We'll get a Panzer III. Not quite as expensive as the Stug, and also a lot more useful against enemy infantry if we happen to come across them. Although I'd also like to get some infantry, speaking of that, but it looks like we might not currently have that option. Oh, the Fallschirm... No, my goodness! Shame on me, guys. We just lost a group of our Fallschirmjägers because the enemy has that Bofors. I knew it was going to be a problem. But that just goes to show you, of course, the dangers inherent here in the fight. And those Fallschirmjägers have fought so bravely. For them to just go down like that is just tragic. So what we'll do is at least grab another unit of Panzer Grenadiers. They've done an amazing job so far, and I want them to secure the southern areas for us. Okay, getting across this territory is definitely going to be our top priority right now. Getting over here to the river and crossing over. So let's attack. I think we're going to get that bonus attack. Oh, that's right, we don't get that with armor. However, we can move forward with our actual infantry here, or Fallschirmjägers, and try and get one of those sniper shots over here into the units defending the bridge. So let's go ahead. I wouldn't usually focus on the conscripts, but I think in this particular situation, it might actually not be such a bad idea. Excuse me. So let's push forward. I'm also going to try to get that AT gun forward, but I think he's just not close enough to really do much. Nonetheless, we'll push forward with the Wehrmacht. And we're going to leave this vehicle completely up to our armor. I mean, we can destroy this vehicle just with our tanks, our assault guns, etc. We might as well bring these ambush, quote-unquote, ambush units forward. I'll also open fire here with the artillery, and I think just with a shot from the Sturmpanzer, we can completely shut this guy down. Alright, pretty beautiful. Once again, more with the Stugs, just pushing forward. I don't want them to get too close to the enemy, because I know they've got some units here that could potentially be a danger to our tanks. So I'm just going to stay sort of a little farther away, try and get rid of the machine guns, and this way our Panzer Grenadiers should be able to get across a lot easier. Now here I am being a little bit risky, but look at that potential kill on the howitzer. I think I'm going to take it. Let's push forward with the Stug as well, and with this assault gun, the Panzerjäger, I'll do the exact same thing. I think we might even be able to just overwhelm the enemy with force here, period. And let's see what is in that paradrop next turn, unfortunately. We're not going to be able to take a look at this turn. However, I will try to take the fight here to the AA. And for any of our units that get damaged this turn, we can always fix that once we come back. I think we can also probably just shoot the AA down right here with our Panzer III. Whoa, he actually missed. Did not expect him to do that. This guy is also not going to do very well against the Bofors. I might actually just put him in ambush mode, if that's even an option. What if we switch to APCR rounds? Wow, so I guess we can only use those APCR rounds if we're quite close to the enemy. It's got to be one tile away. Luckily, artillery got rid of that threat, and we can keep on pushing forward towards Ivan's front lines. I think we'll even bring our assault infantry over, although, you know what, maybe we should stay put. It looks like these guys could easily cross over, do a bit of a counterattack, and catch us off guard, so I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to stay right there. Let's worry about that machine gun. I knew that could be a problem, but hopefully we can work through it and get some reinforcements to these units. Alright, let's break across, guys. First of all, let's see if artillery can fire this turn. I didn't think so. We are going to have to get quite aggressive here, and I wish we could use our anti-tank successfully against an infantry unit, but that's just not how things work. I'd also like to go ahead and reinforce him, so I'm going to see if we can bring supplies, but I don't think so, and the reason being, he is too close to the front lines. There's no way any supply could actually get through to him, so I'm going to be aggressive with my armor, only to save this Wehrmacht unit. That's the only reason I'm doing this. We won't be able to get resupplies to him this turn, I don't think, but at least next turn we'll be able to help him out quite a bit and get that unit back to a normal amount of manpower here. Alright, onwards we go. I mean, it's looking pretty close here, guys. And I think after this we'll have to go for Belarus herself, try and take Belarus out entirely. But at this point I am just blitzing on all fronts, essentially. And trying to get across here and really take the fight to the Soviets over here defending the city. Got so many units to move across, though, and let's see what we get out of this paradrop. I guess that wasn't it. There we go. And it looks like just some prestige points. Exactly what I was hoping for. You can never have too many prestige points. In fact, I'll go ahead and let's bring in something special. Another Stug. I know, we're doing a lot of Stugs here, but they're going to be so useful against all of the enemy armor sitting back here, the T-34s, etc. The enemy still has quite a few units that could cause us a bit of trouble. So, okay, end the turn. As you can see, they're not going to give this side of the river over without a fight. It's just too valuable to them. This job to infantry. Let's bring up our Stugs. And even our Stug, of course, against the T-34 is not able to do perfectly. He's definitely having some issues. And it's to be expected. This is a serious piece of enemy hardware. Just destroying one of these T-34 tank armies, I think, really helps us in the game itself. And with a flank attack here, we're able to take out one of those T-34s quite quickly. Now we need to focus on supply. We got to get some supply to these units, especially the ones that are especially damaged. Look at this guy. He's going to have to stay put, just get some supplies. As for the rest of them, I think we can just kind of keep them the way they are. I am going to take this Panzerjäger, try and move him back, and also try to move this infantry unit back. But we are officially across the river. That is a big deal, with quite a lot of armor as well. So I wonder if we can really exploit this and use it to our advantage. No, we're going to be waiting a little bit. In the meantime, though, we can bring this tank across. We can also bring some supplies over here to... No, we can't bring supplies to that unit. For now, I think we'll hold off. What about a Junkers attack on the T-34? It's not bad. It actually took away 2 health. Something that we can consider using in the future, for sure. I think I'm also kind of concerned about the enemy presence here in the north. Even though there are no actual bridges here for them to get across, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy another Panzer III and maybe even a Panzer Grenadier unit. We could also get some Fallschirmjägers and maybe cause some extra confusion amongst the enemy. But let's see if we can even make it through. And it looks like we can. Absolutely amazing. I don't think we can use the incendiary ability this turn, but... let's see what we can do. Not much, unfortunately. Let's open fire here with our sniper. At least get rid of some of the enemy infantry. And in fact, since we've already done that, I figure we might as well just bring in an additional Fallschirmjäger unit. Put this one over here in the north. They've been just instrumental in us doing as well as we've done here in the game. So I'm going to try to just destroy that Fallschirmjäger unit completely. Excuse me, not the Fallschirmjäger unit, the infantry unit. And now we're going to actually sneak up on their Soviet sniper unit and try to ambush them. Once again, managed to suppress them. That was a decent attack. You know what? I haven't had enough. I'm bringing in another Fallschirmjäger. Somebody stop me here. And what we're going to do is open fire on the city here. I mean, just imagine if we were able to break into this city next turn and actually get an early victory. That would be pretty amazing. So I'm going to test my luck. There's just conscripts in there, but it looks like that defense is really giving them a defensive bonus. We're not just going to get in there by firing a few rifles. There's no way. All right, turning it over to Ivan. Yeah, they're not going to let our Fallschirmjägers get away here, especially not after everything we've done with them. They want them off the field. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice the lives of my actual infantry more than I am my tanks. I've got a little more respect for my tanks, unfortunately. If you want to make it in the Wehrmacht, you've got to be willing to take a few losses here and there, lose some friends, etc. And as you can see, we're actually already out of ammunition here on our Stug 3 tank. That is not a situation we wanted to be in, but let's do what we can. Still got plenty of Stugs here, but as you can see, they are using that ammunition. We're absolutely going to have to get that supply to them. See if the assault gun here can finish them off. In fact, we might even be able to use our APCR rounds. We haven't used these before. Completely destroyed the enemy. We're going to have to use those more in the future. But again, the only weird thing about the APCR rounds is the fact that you have to be right next to the enemy unit to use them. They are like armor-piercing rounds. Again, if we're right up next to the enemy, we can pen their tanks, etc. But if we're far away, it's got no uses whatsoever. Let's get across here. Instead of the enemy attacking us, we'll immediately take the offensive to them to avoid them ever doing that. And once again, I think I've got a decent sniper shot from here. Probably got a decent sniper shot from here. If we can eliminate this target from a distance, that's exactly what we're going to do. That definitely means bringing in some artillery here. Let's also see if we can't finally resupply these poor Panzerjägers. And that's looking pretty good. I think that's going to be it for now. We could certainly bring in more troops, but I'm trying to see if I can save some prestige this round. See, right there, he could use some supply. Ah, never mind. Thank goodness I saw that. So we still have our artillery pieces, which we would like to resupply if possible. Pretty much anybody that's low on ammunition is going to also need our assistance here. Alright. Do the Russians have any more plans here, or do they know they're beaten? Back to player one, guys, and we continue the sniping run here. Even with this Fallschirmjäger unit that could potentially be destroyed, we're going to go ahead and attack. We actually got a critical attack. Even with a loss of life, I'm not going to stop. And of course, the only issue now is we are getting quite low on ammunition. We've got to get some more ammunition in here if we plan to actually take on the enemy tanks, do any damage to them whatsoever. We should also try to bring in any assault guns that still have some rounds. But as you can see, we're just not going to really do much damage here to the Stug. What I will do is try to entrench outside the city, but more importantly, we need to get a unit to take the city. Let's move right into Brody with our Fallschirmjäger units once again. And that's going to be a victory. Kind of surprised by that victory, as we sort of were a little tricky in the way we got in there. We didn't necessarily take on the entire Soviet army, though we destroyed most of it, but my goal was just to get in there as quickly as possible. Pretty cool, guys. So a decisive victory. All three of those Iron Crosses are coming straight to me. And now we could actually go to Minsk. I think that's going to be our only option now, or we could jump to Mogilev past Minsk. But Minsk is a major battle, so I think for sure that's what I'm going to be playing next. Let's take a look.